20 years, we create dream cars, generation after generation. We push ourselves beyond all limits. We take victories and write history.
What a great championship.
Together, we go even further.
Are you ready? Bring it home.
It's dreams that have fueled us across 2 decades.
Sliding through that mark. Brilliant racing.
It's dreams that have inspired us, empowered us, and driven us to the next level. This is Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, driven by dreams. 2023 starts now.
欢迎大家收看亚洲保时捷凯雷拉杯2023年赛季第7回合的直播现场，我是本次赛季的主持人 Sammy。这个周末我们将会在泰国第1条符合 FIA 1级规格的赛道，也就是泰国五里南国际赛车道进行比赛。而时隔多年之后回来这里，想必所有的车手们将十分期待今天的赛事。Hello everyone and welcome to Round 7 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2023 season. I'm your host Sammy Hum and we are now here in Buriram, Thailand at Chang International Circuit, ready for another round of Asia's premier one-make racing series. Let's hear from our pit reporter Steve Dawson on this morning's qualifying rounds.
Yeah, beautiful weather once again, Sammy. Clouds in the sky, but the sun is peeking through. No threat of rain whatsoever. This is a Grade 1 FIA track, so absolutely no concerns about the track here. Tip-top condition. Tip-top qualifying as well, also from Bao Jinlong and Florian Latour. They continue their 100% record of having been best in class during qualifying at every race weekend we've had so far. And it could be perhaps the most intense first lap that we've had this season. Latour leads the Drivers' Championship, but those drivers who are close to him in that race are as close as they can be on the grid today, and they cannot afford to let him develop too big a gap early on because he's shown such great pace both in qualifying and in race trim.
So it seems like it's an all versus Latour today. So it's going to be exciting. Thank you so much, Steve. Let's pass it to our commentators.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Steve. It's Peter Mackay here up in the Global Broadcast Centre, raring to go for round 7 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia from Chang International Circuit. We haven't been here for 7 years, and most of the drivers on the grid today have not raced in Porsche Carrera Cup machinery, so a little bit of a voyage of discovery for our drivers. Last time out in Suzuka, well, we had an absolute thriller, particularly in race 1 of the weekend. Let's have a look at what went on with our highlights. Go racing in Japan.
Now joining me on the track today, we have our very special guest, the Managing Director of Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific, Mr. Alexandre Jabot. Hello, Alex. How are you feeling today?
Hello, Sammy. Very good. Yeah, very good. Everybody, yeah, welcome. Very good. Very happy to be here back in Thailand. Porsche Carrera Cup Asia didn't race here since 2016, so it's great to be back.
That's great to hear. So this is a fantastic track, and we know that all of the drivers have been eager to return. So now that we are halfway through the motorsport calendar this year, has it been a successful 2023 so far?
Well, it's first of all, it's a busy year, which is a good sign. Busy on the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia on one hand, you know, it's 20 years. It's the first time since 3 years that we go back racing internationally, so quite busy, but very good. We are also starting the 5th season of the Porsche Sports Cup in China, where we have 3 events all over China for more beginner level. We will also launch the GT Track Day during the autumn, and also the GT side has been extremely busy with the GT World Challenge Asia. We are the most represented manufacturer. We have 9 new 911 GT3R on the grid of GT World Challenge Asia. Currently leading the team championship, and very close in the driver championship with 2 rounds to go. So no, very good year. And also obviously we have a big preparation with Macau coming very soon, and we should have a great lineup there. Yeah.
Wow, that's really impressive. So what about the Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific selected driver Yifei Ye?
Well, it's a great year. You know, we are working with Yifei since 2022. Last year was a transition year before the start in LMDH, and he did a great job, and which helped him to step up in the 963 this year with the Earth Team Jota. So he's doing the full World Endurance Championship. He's doing a great job. We are very happy with his progression. He did a good performance also in Le Mans. He showed some great pace, and also he's getting more and more close from the factory. You know, he did also two times the rookie test for the Formula E factory team from Porsche. So very happy with his progression, and we hope next year to see him even closer from the factory, and with an even bigger program. Yeah.
Wow, that's really fantastic. I've never seen bigger smile from Mr. Alex today, you know? So, like, we are really excited for what's going to happen today since the race is about to begin. Thank you so much for joining us, Alex. So let's pass it back to our commentators.
Thank you, Sammy. I think it's just fantastic what Porsche are doing in the region. And as Alex said, Macau Grand Prix not far around the corner. An amazing spectacle if you've ever seen it. Well, weather conditions here at Chang International Circuit, they're absolutely perfect. That's why the Michelin man's got such a smile on his face. The sunglasses are on the grid, and big smiles, and perfect weather to go racing. 34 degrees ambient this afternoon with a 35% chance of rain. I like to say that's a 65% chance of it staying dry. Let's hope that it stays that way, and just a very gentle breeze to cool the brow of drivers, mechanics and fans alike here in Buriram. The track temperature is really what we want to know, though. 47 degrees Celsius, thanks to the information provided to us by Michelin. And that's a really important thing, because at that high track temperature, it's going to make the surface feel quite greasy. But the drivers here in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia are used to racing in very, very high temperatures. Well, in qualifying, the grid was hotly contested, and let's have a look then at the qualifying order and see how we start for this round 7 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. The championship leader Florian Latour really hitting his stride now mid-season. He qualified alongside Chris van der Drift in second. Lokai Low qualified third, but had 6 laps deleted in qualifying. We've got Reid Harker returning in 5th alongside Bao Jinlong, who qualified on pole in Pro-Am. Then it's Rang Yo Yu and Zhou Bi Huang. Gao Yujia for Team Jepsen will start 9th alongside Hong Si-jae. Eric Zhang will start in 11th in the number 77 Toro racing car beside Wu Jiaxin. Then it's Francis Chia and Li Xuanyu for Z Speed Motorsport in 14th. 15th will be Adrian De Silva, a stalwart of this championship, alongside Christian Chia. Then it's Jackie Wu starting 17th alongside Modern Motorsports' John Shen. Juju Yao will start from 19th. And then a bit of a story. Eric Kwong and Li Chao will start at the back of the grid after a collision in qualifying. So they were sent to the back of the grid with a penalty there. So lots of work for them to do. Well, Florian Latour was the driver who put it on pole overall. He will have the best view down to turn 1. And let's get down to Steve with the man of the moment.
Florian Latour in pole position once again. It's becoming a bit of a habit. Let's have a word with the fabulous Frenchman. You've been consistently the best qualifier every single weekend we've had, Florian. Does this surprise you at all?
Yeah, for now, yeah, we are doing the good job on qualifying. Now let's see the race, because we wasn't able to do a race distance on during the practice. So let's see, yeah.
And your closest competitors in the Drivers' Championship, Chris van der Drift and Lorkai Law, they're right behind you and alongside you on the grid. I imagine the first corner is going to be very important.
Yeah, first corner, yeah, of course, but especially turn 3 after the long straight line, you know, with the draft and everything. But let's see, yeah, how it goes.
Drive safely, well done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Florian. Florian Latour is absolutely right. Turn 3 is going to be the big place to look out for here at the Chang International Circuit in Buriram. Well, as Steve hotfoots his way down towards our Pro-Am sitter, Bao Jinlong, car number 718, qualified on pole in class by just 53 thousandths of a second. So tight, with Zhou Bi Huang just missing out in his Porsche Beijing Central Golden Port car. Quite impressive indeed, and already Steve's made his way there, just having a quick chat ready for the interview. Let's get down to them. Bao Jinlong with Steve Dawson.
Bao Jinlong is in P6 and first among the Pro-Am drivers. Jinlong, you're leading the Drivers' Championship. Are you feeling any pressure at all?
No pressure at all. I just focus at the front cars and just follow them, and maybe I have the chance to catch up them.
A lot of drivers are struggling with the track limits, both in practice and qualifying. Are you enjoying this track? Do you find it difficult?
Yes, sure, but yes, it's fair to everybody, and I also have some track limit at the practice, but in the qualifying, I'm fine.
Good luck, drive safely.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bao Jinlong was here just a month or two ago with one of the other GT championships here in Asia, racing a Porsche, of course, the new 992 GT3R. That experience is definitely going to stand him in good stead. Our AM pole sitter is the number 22, Yangro Yu for BD Group. 1.4 seconds the advantage there. Let's hear from Steve, who's down with the man of the moment in AM.
Can you believe this? Yang Ruoyu, an amateur driver, is in P7 today. Great qualifying round. How did you manage that?
Actually, I know I have speed this weekend, so it's a nice position for today. Yeah, I'm really happy.
Your nearest challenger in the amateur category, well, there's 4 cars between you and him, so are you just going to keep it steady today? No risks?
For sure, but you know, everything can be happen. So who knows?
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yang Yu has one of the coolest helmets in motorsport. I love the design on that helmet. Well, great job from Steve Dawson and all of our TV crew there, getting a chat with the drivers right before they shut the door and fire up these 4-litre flat 6 engines. All of these Porsche 992 GT3Rs supplied directly from the factory, all identically spec'd, but can be set up by the teams. We have not been here for quite a while, but the championship standings look a bit like this. Florian Latour leads by 21 points after a perfect double victory at Suzuka. Lorkai Law will be hoping to change the narrative now. Chris van der Drift sits ominously in 3rd, with Martin Ragginger in 4th, and Nazim Asman rounds out the top 5 in the overall classification. However, in the Pro-Am Championship, well, it's Bao Jinlong who leads the way by just 11 points from Eric Zhang. Then it's Zhou Bi Huang, Li Chao and Francis Chia. In the AM classification at the moment, it's Rang Yo Yu who holds a commanding lead, and a pole position today puts him in a very good spot. Wu Jiaxin is 2nd, then it's Li Xuanyu, Christian Chia and Eric Kwong tied in 4th position. So, Chang International Circuit, 4.5 kilometres, 12 turns. The first part of the lap looks quite simple on the track map, just a right-hander and then a long straight. Oh no, turn 3 is one of the most tricky corners in the whole of Asia. very, very big braking zone that's very bumpy on the entry, so the drivers are going to be carrying huge speed into there. Great opportunity for overtaking. In the second part of the lap, quite similar to the circuit we saw in Korea a few months ago, where it's quite technical and lots of changes of direction. The drivers are really going to be put through their paces today here at Chang International Circuit in Buriram. We haven't been here with the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia for 7 years. The circuit opened in October 2014, so it's a relatively new circuit in compared to Suzuka, for example, where we visited last time out, but a real challenge nonetheless. During the formation lap here, the big goal is generate as much heat into these Michelin tyres as possible and get the brakes up to temperature as well. Florian Latour is going to start from pole position alongside Chris van der Drift, the three-time champion, don't forget. Lokai Lo just missed out on the front row of the grid after 6 laps, getting deleted in qualifying for track limits. Martin Ragginger starts 4th. Reid Harker returns to the championship in 5th, with Bao Jinlong, our Pro-Am pole sitter, in 6th. Rang Yo U, as Steve mentioned, 7th overall in Am. That is a fantastic result there. Gao Yujie will start from 9th alongside Hong Xijie. Eric Zhang, former Pro-Am Championship leader, he's a little bit out of position there in 11th. Watch for that Toro racing car to surge through the field. Francis Chia starts 13th alongside Li Xuanyu. Adrian De Silva for El Bamba Motorsport in 15th. Adrian's a long-standing member of this championship. Jackie Wu, watch for him to move forward in the race in the number 69 and 17th. Then it's John Shen for Modern and Motorsports. Juju Yao starts 19th, and then, well, Eric Kwong and Li Chao, they start from the back of the grid after a collision in qualifying, which the stewards took a little bit of a dim view, unfortunately. So the drivers now, you can see them working these Michelin tyres as much as they can to generate that temperature, because these slick tyres, if you don't have temperature in them, don't get the optimum grip. So that's what the drivers are doing. They're also trying to generate a bit of heat in the brakes as well, because particularly coming down towards turn 3 for the first time, you want the brakes at their correct operating temperature so that the car will bite and stop for that very, very tricky, tight right-hander. Watch for many drivers trying to make moves through there. So imagine what the drivers are feeling right now. Then this is where the nerves really start to get going, where all of the preparation comes to be so important. It's the 20th year of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. We've had 4 different generations of Porsche Cup car in at this wonderful championship, and it continues to go from strength to strength. A packed grid of 20 Porsche 992 GT3 Cup machines, and it will be Florian Latour in the black, blue and silver Maidong racing car who will move up into pole position. By virtue of Florian Latour's fantastic performances of late, Maidong Racing are now the leaders in the prestigious dealer championship, so they'll be hoping that their man continues this rich vein of form that he is enjoying right now. But watch out for the triple Porsche Carrera Cup Asia champion, Chris van der Drift, in the number 8 car, white and blue machine for Team Shanghai Yongda. He had a really strong qualifying, just edging out Lokai Lo at the start of the race. So the drivers making their way to the grid. The Porsche Cayenne medical car there in the background, keeping a watching brief on the cars. Launch control will be engaged. 17 laps or 30 minutes, whichever comes first. Hopefully, our pace car will stay in the pits. The reds begin to rise, ready to go racing. The lights begin to illuminate. Out they go. Let's go racing in Thailand. Oh, it's a terrible start from Florian Latour. Off goes Chris van der Drift, and Latour's been absolutely swamped as they go down into turn 1. It's Chris van der Drift in the lead, heading away from Lokai Lo. Has made a good start from the second row of the grid, and this is a disaster for Latour. He's going to have to be very brave here into turn 3. There's huge braking zone. They head down. Reid Harker from 5th on the grid has moved up into 2nd. What a start. Latour has recovered into 3rd. Just moving past Lokai Low there at turn number 3, with Martin Ragginger there in 5th in the Porsche holding car, just at the back of shot. But what a start, a dream start for Chris van der Drift. He's such a veteran of this championship, and actually last time we were here he was not present, so this is a new thing for him. Not many new things in this championship for Chris van der Drift, but he is wanting to get a move on and break away, while Florian Latour is mired behind Reid Harker. And Reid Harker, you know for sure, he is not going to lay down. Reid Harker subbing in this championship. We've seen him sort of have sporadic appearances this year, and he wants to really prove himself. He's one of the young protégés of the Earl Bamber Motorsport stable. Of course, Earl Bamber really launched his career from this championship with 2 titles. So, Chris van der Drift leads the way after lap 1 as they come in the 1 second already from Reid Harker, who's got Florian Latour right on his bumper. Then it's Lokai Low in 4th, with Martin Ragginger right there in 5th in the Porsche holding machine. As they've rushed down towards turn 3 now, ready to hit the brakes as well. You're right at the top of top gear, and then you rattle down the gearbox. Sequential gearboxes in these Porsche 992 GT3R. A little bit wide there. You've got to watch for track limits, though. Many of the drivers pushing over that track limits. You can do it a couple of times, but once the stewards take a notice of it, it won't be long before you get a penalty and have to hand positions back. Well. What a start to the race this is. So, leading the way then, Chris van der Drift. He's 1 second to the good after that opening lap. Let's see what he's going to be when they get back to the timing line. And it's Reid Harker then in 2nd position. Sime Darby up for Adrian Silva before in the kind of zebra-coloured machine, but Sime Darby putting Reid Harker in the car for this race, and Florian Latour not able to make a way through at all at the moment. So they come around to complete lap number 2 then. Quite a quick, fast lap here. It's 4.5 kilometers, but it's the early part of the lap before going into the second section, which is a little bit more technical. The gap has increased ever so slightly. Chris van der Drift, a 1:38.0 on his first flying lap there as well. That's about 1.5 seconds off the ultimate pole time, about a second off his best pole in qualifying. So that's pretty impressive there in race trim for Chris van der Drift. It's, you know, set the car up differently in like and the lap the most, but in the race 17 laps you've got to get make sure the tire lasts, make sure the brakes last. This is going to be a thing as well going down into turn 3. We're really going to be putting the steel brakes on these Porsche machines in through their paces. The GT3R, the full GT3 spec machine, it goes with carbon brakes, so you've got to be a little bit careful of that. So in the Pro-Am class, Bao Xunlong has held on to his advantage that he got in qualifying. The gap there is just half a second. They sit second. Yang Ru, who sits in 9th position overall and has a good gap back to the nearest competitor overall. That's Li Xuanyu, so it's a great start for a dominant championship here. Yang Ru. Well, message coming through on our timing screen. Car number 17, that's Reid Harker in 2nd position in the Sime Darby Racing, the red and black car. Investigation for an overtake beyond. This could be critical to the outcome of this motor race, because at the moment, Florian Latour is losing time to our leader, sat behind Reid Harker. The gap is up to 1.2 seconds with Chris van der Drift leading from Reid Harker, but Harker gets a penalty where he's got to plan something back. If he's going to just like that, penalty, that will allow Florian Latour to try and make his way through. So car number 17 again, turn number 8, second warning. So Reid Harker really working the track limits early on here as well. And you don't want to catch the attention of the stewards too early, because then they're going to be looking at your car much more closely throughout the race. You want to really try to use the track limits tactically. You are allowed a little bit, but you want to kind of use them at opportune moments. Reid Harker obviously feels he's got to try and use it to keep Florian Latour at bay at this point. Oh, Chris van der Drift looking he has. And problem. That's Adrian De Silva, car number 61, has had a collision out there. I'm just trying to pick the number on the other car there. It looks like one of the Team Jeb cars. Get another look then. So, that's at turn 3. Oh dear, it's car number 69, Jackie Wu. So Jackie Wu and Adrian De Silva have come together, and have they been able to... Adrian De Silva has not. I think we're going to get a safety car here. Adrian De Silva's got the hazard warning lights on and doesn't appear to have much drive, and the right wheel looks are out of alignment. Well, could we see our safety car for the first time? This is exactly what Florian Latour and Reid Harker want to see in second and third. It is not what Chris van der Drift wants to see, and yes, indeed, we have a safety car here on 4 of round 7 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. So the circuit team will have to, once the field is controlled behind the safety car, then the circuit marshals will get onto the circuit and retrieve Adrian De Silva's stricken Porsche 992 GT3R for El Bamber Motorsport. It appears that Adrian De Silva's machine has received some damage in that incident. We knew that turn 3 was going to be an action point in any form of racing. It's always a point where there's lots of overtaking opportunities, but when there's overtaking opportunities, there is also potential for collisions. We see it in MotoGP when they come here, we see it in World Superbikes as well when they come here, and various other forms of motorsport. So, well, Chris van der Drift, he'll be frustrated. He'll be frustrated. There's nothing he can do, of course, about a safety car happening. Launch in his Team Shanghai Honda number 8 car, and Florian Latour, he has struggled to start all year. We saw him in Sepang actually get a jump start penalty, and in several other races lose a strong grid position with just not getting the car off the line in the best way. So no such issue for Chris van der Drift. Reid Harker, remember, fifth on the grid, so 5th all the way through to 2nd. Nothing on my timer screen yet about any penalties for Reid Harker. We saw that the race control personnel were looking through an incident at turn 1 where Reid Harker had overtaken out width of the track limits on that one. So what view will they take on that? So it's the reset here in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia round 7. Your overall leader, Chris van der Drift. In Pro-Am, it's Bao Jinlong, who will start with Zhou Bi Huang right behind him. He'd opened up a gap of 1.4 seconds over Zhou Bi Huang. That will now be completely removed. Yang Wu having a dream start to the day in his number 22 machine for BD Group, because his nearest competitor is in 14th, Li Chuan Yu, in car number 188. So really handy to have other drivers between you and your rivals. Let's get another look then at the race start, and oh dear me, it was just couldn't get the power down there. Could Florian Latour in car number 11, and gets completely swamped, and just brought, and then so Reid Harker, Reid Harker just opening up the gas and using all of the room. Actually, clear track. Adrian De Silva trudges off to the the international driving racing drivers language, hands on hips and staring at the cars going past. He's a bit about the driver of the car that they were in an incident with. So, Adrian De Silva perhaps might be going over to Cruz garage for a bit of a debrief, possibly, after this race. Now getting confirmation on my timing screen. Car number 17, that is a 5-second time penalty. That is for the incident at turn 1 where Reid Harker took the outside of the track limits in 8th position. So that is not allowed by the rules, and poor old Reid Harker, he has copped a penalty for it. So he will, although he's a second on the road at the moment, he has a 5-second time penalty. Which, well, we'll see how, we won't really know until this how much will affect that will be. It depends how much the field stretches out. So for Reid Harker, the question is, does he then defend from Florian Latour, compromise his lap time to keep his track position? But the problem is then he's got this 5-second time penalty and could potentially put himself further back into the order. Or does he let Florian Latour go and try and stick in behind him and get the best overall race time and then potentially lose less positions? So, very interesting stuff here at the circuit for drivers behind the Porsche Panamera pace car and the Albamba Motorsport machine of Adrian De Silva removed. So when the lights go off on the safety car, we'll be able to go back racing again. That incident between Jackie Wu and Adrian De Silva will be investigated after the race. I think that's a pretty sensible approach. Just want to have a look at the onboard footage of both cars and just check what the story was. So 6 laps complete, 11 to go, and the safety car will go in at the end of this lap. So ready to go back racing again here in round 7 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. This 20th anniversary year, the Porsche Panamera pace car speeds away, and it will be Chris van der Drift who leads us back into action. And van der Drift looks like he's going to try and make a jump. I thought he was going to try and gas it up there and go for it. There's 2 more corners to go as the pace car goes away. Van der Drift trying to now just control the pace to exactly how he wants it to be. So I do apologise. It's a Porsche 718 that's the pace car, not a Panamera. I do apologise. So the Chris van der Drift number 8 Team Shanghai Honda car heads away. And then into racing. Green flag in the air. Let's go back racing here in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Chris van der Drift then with Reid Harker right on his tail. But remember, the number 17, the red car, Reid Harker, has a 5-second time penalty hanging over them. So down the long back straightaway, down towards turn 3. This is the action as in at this race, and Van der Drift wanted to just hit the brakes as late as possible. You see just the front of the nose of the car just dipping as the weight transfers. Van der Drift, look right there. It's got a multiple apexes, that corner, really, really challenging. Oh, spinner in the background is Eric Zhang. Eric Zhang has spun around. Oh dear, number 77, Eric Zhang, one of the championship contenders in Pro-Am, who's done a beautiful flick turn there over the grass and gets back going again in his Toro Racing machine. Oh, what a shame there for Eric Zhang at turn 3. And now we're getting confirmation. Car number 16, which is John Shen, has been given a 5-second time penalty for a race start infringement. Oh, which could well be for a jump start or something of that order. All the drivers coming through at turn 3 did a great job to avoid Eric Zhang. Winning Eric Zhang, who manages to rejoin. He'll be hoping for another safety car to try and get back in touch with the rest of the field. So tricky there, so tricky. Optimum temperature can be tricky going through there. So Chris van der Drift, well, he got it off the line beautifully on the standing start at the beginning of the race, and the rolling start, equally impressive. So more penalties coming through. Car 88. Car number 88. Christian Chia has been given a 10-second penalty for a jump start. Oh dear. So now the race control starting to face through. Having a big effect. Oh, huge lock up there going into turn 3. One of our drivers further down the order manages to gas it up and get back going again. It's so tricky, that braking zone into turn 3. And car 17 has been, that's Reid Harker, been given another penalty for track limits as well. Oh, big puncture. Looks like front right issue there for car number 83. That's Hong Si Jae. Oh, so that's who we saw lock up into turn 3. And Hong Si Jae, looks like there's been a bit of damage at the front right corner of the car, which may be causing the wheel to rub the inside wheel arch there. So, oh, that's such a shame for Hong Si Jae. Carnage here already at Porsche Carrera Cup Asia round 7 here at Chang International Circuit. So Reid Harker in second place has been given another warning for track limits. So he already has a 5-second time penalty for breaking the track limits on lap 1 and gaining position. The issue for Florian Latour, though, in third, is that he's stuck behind Reid Harker. He cannot make a move forward. Meanwhile, Chris van der Drift is marching forward at the front of the field. Oh, wide in the background for our AM leader, Yang Ro Yu. So, dear me, there's many drivers taking some quite alternative here around this Chang International Circuit. It was Yang Ro Yu who went very wide at the last corner, turn number 12, right behind the number 55 car of Gao Yu Jie. So Yang Ro Yu, the respecter of no egos here, trying to put some pressure on one of our pro drivers. We love this spirit. Fantastic from Yang Ro Yu, but got to be careful not to throw away a very strong position in the AM class. His nearest competitor is 3 positions behind in 12. That's Li Xuan Yu. But back to the front, it's Chris van der Drift who leads then, who's opening up a bit of a gap from Reid Harker, who's defending well from Florian Latour. And for Latour, this is really a bit of a disaster, because it's backing him up into his nearest championship rival, Lo Kai Lo, who started on the second row of the grid, made a decent start, but yes, let me at Florian Latour. I need to beat him. And Lo Kai Lo really needs these championship points. He's 21 points adrift right now of Florian Latour, so he has to beat him. Cannot afford that gap widen even further. Not out of it mathematically. Chris van der Drift is 37 points behind Florian Latour in the championship. So for Chris van der Drift marking away at the front of the field, this is dreamland. In fact, the safety car has played into Chris van der Drift's hands after all that. He's 1.8 seconds in the lead. Fantastic. So the drivers being warned as well. They're getting a message that all the teams get a message, who then relay it to the drivers. There is debris and oil at turn 3, so that just makes a tricky corner even more challenging. So it's a big braking zone. You can see the cars over the bumps, but these Porsche 992 GT3 Cup machines, they are so well balanced. The suspension technology just so impressive. All that development into these cars, all that evolution, making a very challenging corner there look easy. I can assure you it's not easy, but it makes it look easy. Reid Harker, he will be ruining that 5-second penalty for that breach of track limits and on lap 1, because he's holding off the championship leader beautifully at the moment, running his line and not allowing Florian Latour and the Maidong Racing, the blue and silver machine, not allowing him any opportunity to move through. The track limits warnings are flashing up so quickly on my timing screen, folks. I cannot read quick enough for you. Just like to say that most of the drivers are being warned for track limits. Let's summarise it that way. We knew it was going to be the case, as Steve rightly mentioned earlier on, an FIA Grade 1 circuit, so there's a lot more tarmac runoff to contend with. So that the drivers just are always so tempted to use it, and they're not allowed to use it. That is the thing. So over we go then. 6 laps to go, and it's Chris who leads by 1.6 seconds. So actually, the gap has come down ever so slightly on the last lap. So Reid Harker and Florian Latour just a little bit quicker than Chris van der Drift, only by a tenth or so. So it's not huge margin to the 6 laps to go. That's or 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Racing here in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, so very much depends. If we see another safety car, it definitely will go with race rather than laps completed. So in Pro-Am, Bao Xinlong continues to lead car number 718 by 9/10 of a second from Zhou Bi Huang, and they're right beside each other on the road as well. Then in the AM class, it's still Rang Yo U who leads the way by a good margin from Li Xuanyu, who sits in 12th overall at the moment. Yeah, Florian Latour, our pole sitter, our championship leader, really the benchmark this season. He just cannot get away through on Reid Harker right now. Reid Harker's placing that Sime Darby machine exactly where he needs it. The Darby team run by El Bamber Motorsport driver. El Bamber, a driver with such pedigree in this championship. He won it twice before progressing to win the Porsche Super Cup, and within 6 months he was an overall Le Mans winner in the 919 hybrid. This is really a championship driven by dreams, and where dreams can't come true. Over the line they go then, 5 laps to go, and the gap is so tight. Fine. Chris van der Drift, 138.125. Reid Harker, 138.197. So there's 7 thousandths of a second on the timesheets as well. So Chris van der Drift is handling this beautifully at the front of the field. And actually, Latour, last lap, he took a couple of a second there to Reid Harker. So is We're struggling a little bit here with Wokai Low right on his engine cover at the moment. And not too far behind them as well. Watch out for Martin Ragginger in the Porsche Holding number 86 car. Very careful of Martin Ragginger. He's one of the few drivers who's driven here in a Porsche Cup car before. We heard Florian Latour mention on the grid, he says, you know, we haven't had the chance to do a long run, a race run. It's only been short, sharp qualifying runs. So into the unknown here in this race. Conditions we should expect tomorrow for round 8 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. So, Florian Latour, this is really frustrating for him, I'm sure. Just not getting the clear air to be able to lay down that optimum pace that he showed in qualifying, but it's all about those race starts again for Florian Latour. You know how quick he is, but if you don't have the track position, you cannot deploy that pace. But this has been a superb performance so far from Reid Harker. The problem is, though, his penalty dropping back to his penalty will drop him back to 5th on the timesheet at the moment. Although he's going to finish on the road on the podium, he's not going to be credited with it at this stage unless something quite dramatic happens behind him. And you know what it might well do? Turn 3, the different lines that you can take through there. It's a brilliant design corner with Herman Tilke, the circuit designer, because there's so many different lines, that allows lots of options to create an overtaking maneuver. But the master of it so far has been Chris van der Drift. He's opened his gap up to 1.9 seconds. He was 0.3 of a second quicker than Reid Harker in second last time by. Eric Kwong in the Kitty World car. Eric Kwong now up to 14th position. So he started at the back of the grid. He started in 20th and is moving forward. We know how quick he can be. He's got one more place ahead. He's got Wu Chai Sin ahead in the number 5 car, the silver and black, ominous, menacing looking machine. And in total contrast, the bright pink polka dot machine, the Kitty World Racing car of Eric Kwong. If he can get past Wu Chai Sin, which he does, because Wu Chai Sin's had a big lock up on the brakes there as well. So that will put Eric Kwong up into 3rd position in AM and onto the podium. And for the back of the grid, this after drive from Eric Kwong. The race weekend started in the worst possible way with a collision in qualifying, a subsequent penalty, and he is now climbing up, and will have a hand on a nice bottle of bubbly on the podium if he can finish where he is. 38, going on my information, 3 laps, and yet Reid Harker still holding off championship leader Florian Latour. And there goes Lokai Low. Lokai Low makes the move at turn 3 and does so with a bit of rub and hip and shoulder there. Lokai Low moves ahead then into 3rd position past Florian Latour. That's exactly what he needed to do. He waited for his moment, stuffed it up the inside, a little bit of contact, but that's all fair in love and war. And through goes the number 99 of Lokai Low for Toro Racing. So Florian Latour from pole position, he's now off the podium at this point on the road. With Reid Harker's penalty, he'll get back on the podium, but Florian Latour will be very, very disappointed on his circuit. So through they go then, through this real switchback section. Very, very tricky through the corners there. And we can see Lokai Low holding off Florian Latour. Massive lock up for Florian Latour. The front left lock up there for Florian Latour, and that will put a big flat spot on his Michelin tyres. The next couple of laps are going to be a nightmare here for Florian Latour. It looks like it's going to be 2 laps to go as they go over the start-finish line and race now down the hill, down towards turn 3. But Lokai setting his sights on. I've been very pleased to see the scuffling going on behind him, thinking, well, maybe if they scuffle some more, my 5-second penalty might not. Meanwhile, the battle for Poam rages on with car number 718, Bao Jinlong in the red machine trying to hold off the charging number 2 of Zhou Huang. They were separated by 53 thousandths of a second in qualifying, and well, they're separated by a similar margin right now as we approach the end of this race. So the Pro-Am battle is the tightest in the championship points, the tightest on the timesheets, and Bao Jinlong for Jingtong Auto is driving beautifully, but having to do so to keep Zhou Huang at bay. And Zhou Huang has just been given a second warning for track limits, so he'll have to be very, very careful about that. Bao Jinlong, he was here just a few months ago. Porsche 911. He's got insane a 911 experience, albeit in a slightly different specification, but that experience is everything in motor racing. And Bao Jinlong now starting to pull a couple of car lengths ahead of the number 2 of Zhou Huang. I wonder if that warning for track limits has taken the wind out of the sails a little bit of Zhou Huang. So on to the final, on to 1 lap to go. It's going to be very tight actually whether we get the extra lap or not. So it's going to be very, very tight indeed. So the leader is now on the last lap, so confirmation we are on the last lap. So what a drive this has been from Chris van der Drift, and he's held a very handy advantage of 2 seconds in there, so move there for the back with the number 188 of Li Chuanyu goes past Li Chao for 11th position, and they're actually both racing in a different class. Li Chuanyu in AM and Li Chao in Pro-Am. So Chris van der Drift got the start right. It was all about that getaway, and that was where Florian Latour from pole position really handed away an important result. But Chris van der Drift, it's been a good season so far, but for the triple champion, he wants to be on the top step of the podium. He's had to look at others standing on that top step of the podium. He's been on the podium 4 times so far this season, but now he reaches the top step. Chris van der Drift wins again in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Reid Harker comes home in second on the road with Lokai Low in third. But remember, Reid Harker with a 5-second penalty hanging over him. Florian Latour finishes off the podium on the road, and a change for the lead in Pro-Am on the last corner. Oh, Joby Frank pinches it on the last corner in Pro-Am, and Bao Long. Oh, he led the race the whole way in class, and he's had it pinched at the corner. Wow. Oh my goodness me. What a finish there in the Pro-Am class. But the front wheel, Kiwi takes the win. The Am class, your winner is going to be Li Xuan Yu. What happened to Yang Ro Yu? Yang Ro Yu is tumbling down my timing screen, so something has happened to Yang Ro Yu on the last lap. So Rang Yo Yu for BD Group. Oh, there he is. Yang Ro Yu has gone off. Oh no. So Rang Yo Yu for BD Group, car number 22, leading the AM class by a significant margin, and it's all gone awry on the final lap. Wow. So car number 22, Yang Ro Yu off. Well, what a dramatic finish. We saw the overall result look fairly routine for Chris van der Drift, but anything but routine in Pro-Am, where it went down to the last corner. And then in Am, we've seen our leader, Yang Ro Yu, go off. We do not know the circumstances why. Did he crash on his own? Was he involved? We just don't know. Well, what we do know is Chris van der Drift is your winner and picks up a fantastic win. We've seen him challenge for wins, but this is the first time, one on the road, and a fantastic performance indeed. Now, with the penalties applied now, the order is as follows. Chris van der Drift, your winner. Lokai Low finishes second. Florian Latour in third. Martin Raginger in fourth. And me classified in fifth. The team are delighted. Team Shanghai Yonder, they've waited for this victory. There's Chris van der Drift. The patriotic Kiwi colours there on his helmet. So, big thumbs up from Chris van der Drift. Been waiting all season for this, for an emphatic victory like that, and well deserved. It was all about that getaway off the start, made such a difference. So there's your confirmation of your results. Chris van der Drift, your winner by 2.4 seconds. What a performance from Lokai Low. Florian Latour classified in third. Martin Ragnar in fourth. Reid Harker, he'll be gutted. He finished second on the road, but a 5-second penalty putting him back to fifth. Joby Huang, incredible move on the final corner to pit Bao Jinlong to the post and win in Pro-Am. And then in Am, what happened? Gao Yu Jie is your your winner is Li Xuan Yu in the Am class. But what happened to Rang Yo Yu? We saw stricken out on the circuit. We'll try and find out, but let's get on to our overall race winner, Chris van der Drift, who's down with Steve.
Our winner, Chris van der Drift, is with me. It was all about the start, obviously, at the beginning, but you got a good jump, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, except for Suzuka, where I completely balls that start up. All my rest have been relatively good, so I knew I was confident. I tested one again on Friday, and I got off the line really good then, so I just had to do the same then. It was really good, and I was quick today, so I knew we had a good car this weekend, so massive thanks to my boys for doing all their work on it, and they haven't stopped, so.
Once you got away, and then again after the safety car, didn't seem like a big problem opening up a sizable gap.
No, the car was good, and I could manage it. I got a good little jump, and then I just pulled away in the first lap, and then I just managed it from there and didn't do anything silly. And I knew I had tyres under me if I needed to, if they managed to catch me. But no, the car was really good today, so thanks so much to the guys.
Chances for tomorrow? Do you know where you are on the grid?
Third for tomorrow. So I'll just go and get as many points as we can. We're a little bit behind the ball starting off this season, but I think we've kick-started it now, and hopefully from the halfway point we can have a really strong finish and see what happens.
Enjoy the celebration. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, great stuff there from Chris van der Drift. Just mentioned about mentioned about the start, it's just so important to get that advantage early. And the overtaking opportunities, it all comes down to turn 3 really. So you want to have the best possible position to either defend or be in the position to make a move there at turn 3. Well, Pro-Am, hopefully we'll be able to get a chat with our Pro-Am winner, Joby Huang, who overtook Bao Jinlong on the very last corner. Incredible. It's a very tight right-hander there, the last corner, but there is an opportunity. You carry quite a bit of speed out of turn 11, which sets up that run for the final corner. It's brilliant circuit design again here at Chang International Circuit. Steve Dawson is elbowing his way through the crowds to get a chat with our winner in Pro-Am, which is the number 2 car of Joby Huang. His fastest lap of the race, a 1:38.989, which isn't a million miles off what the guys at the very front of the field are doing. So brilliant stuff from our Pro-Am winner, Joby Huang. So let's get down there to our interview with Steve.
Don't worry. It's basically the last lap, overtook on the last lap. It was so fast that I didn't even see it. You overtook on the last lap. Take us through it, how you got this victory.
你是怎么在最后一个 lap 的时候超越其他车手？
我跟包俊龙就一直从第一圈开始就跟得很紧嘛，然后一直到了最后一圈，他可能在8号弯那边出弯那边可能有机械故障或者是自己出现失误，我也不知道，就是忽然慢了，那我就从旁边过去了，那最后没几个弯了，所以就第一带回来，很幸运，我觉得。
So basically, he has been really, really tight with Bao Jinlong, but maybe something had happened at turn 8, where Bao Jinlong just suddenly slowed down a little bit, and he saw an opportunity, and he just overtake him at that point.
All right, we wonder how that will affect tomorrow's race. Fantastic race, well done.
做得很好，很期待下一场。
可以，下一场好好发车，因为下一场从杆位发车。
Okay, so he will be on pole position for the next round, so he look forward to that.
Brilliant, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Sammy. So a mistake at turn 8 or some issue at turn 8 then for Bao Jinlong. That's really when you're coming out of that corner, you're starting to wind the speed on and really start to set up your move halfway around the circuit at turn 12. So really exciting stuff in the Pro-Ams. And Bao Jinlong, after qualifying on pole, leading the race all the way through, loses it on the last lap to Joby Huang. Now, a surprise Am winner after the demise of Yang Ru was Li Xuanyu in the number 188 car. Steve poised with the microphone, ready to hopefully get a chat with our Am pole sitter. The drivers, it's always the adrenaline that these drivers have got. After 30 minutes of racing, it's hot, it's sweaty, and when they come out of the car, they're just buzzed. And it could sometimes can be an effort chasing after them. But let's get down to Steve then with our winner, Li Xuanyu.
Li Xuanyu is our winner in the amateur category. You must feel wonderful about that.
你现在感觉如何？
很开心。对，因为这次就是配速都很不错，所以说感觉跑出自己节奏了，就挺开心的。
Very happy because he thinks that the pace and the speed today has been really on rhythm. He thinks it's really on sync today.
How did he manage to take the lead?
那你是怎么样就是超越其他的车手，然后就是遥遥领先？
发车的时候，我觉得这次发车也是挺不错的，然后就抽头，然后超了吴嘉欣，然后后来。然后一直保持自己的节奏，他给我也制造了很多压力，因为我开始的时候节奏并不是特别好，然后后来稳定住了心态，然后就带回了，然后杨若瑜失误了嘛，对。
So he had a great start, so it's all about the starting point. After he overtook Wu Jiaxin, and he just follow on his pace. Everything's been steady, although he was a little bit nervous because like he can see that Jiaxin is going to overtake him, but he just continued to remain steady, and everything seems to be good.
Well done. Enjoy the champagne.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Big smiles down in the Parc Fermé area while our drivers will hot foot their way up towards the podium, ready to spray the champagne after a hard 30 minutes of racing. Well, what a race we had here today at Chang International Circuit, and it all came down to this race start. Florian Latour, your pole sitter, just wheel spin off the start, and Chris van der Drift got it hooked, and off he went into the lead into turn one. Lokai Low took his opportunity, but around the outside of Lokai Low came Reid Harker, who took the position but did so out with the track limits and found himself with a 5-second penalty for that. Chris van der Drift was marching away at the front. Meanwhile, Florian Latour, our pole sitter, couldn't find a way past Reid Harker. A collision between the 69 machine of Jackie Wu and Adrian De Silva put the end to Adrian's race. Jackie Wu did make it to the finish though, in 6th in class and 16th overall. But after the intervention of the safety car, the status quo continued with Reid Harker holding off Florian Latour, who just could not make his way past the tenacious Kiwi. And what that did was brought the number 99 of Lokai Low into the reckoning, who got it all crossed up going into turn 3, got the move done and moved into what was 3rd position, would eventually be 2nd position after the penalties. But it was all about Chris van der Drift. A flawless performance for the Kiwi, for the 3-time champion. It really was a masterclass of motorsport from the number 8 from Team Shanghai Yonder, Chris van der Drift. So, does this change the narrative of the championship? Well, it does bring Chris van der Drift a little bit closer in the points. Lokai Low coming into this round in 2nd position, managed to close the gap a little bit there to Florian Latour. What will happen tomorrow when we go racing in the morning? Slightly different conditions, but let's get down to the podium and see how our happy drivers are.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the podium presentation for round 7 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2023 in Buriram. Now, allow me to invite the winners of round 7 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2023 in Buriram for the overall class. On the 3rd place, we would like to invite number 11, Florian Latour from Mango Racing. And on 2nd place, we have number 99, Lokai Low from Toro Racing. And of course, the dealer trophy goes to Team Shanghai Yonder. And now I would like to invite Mr. Peter Rauer, the Managing Director of Porsche Thailand, to come up on stage to present the winner trophy. Let's give him a big round of applause. Winner? Let's start with the winner trophy, which is Chris van der Drift. And now to present the 2nd place trophy. Next is to present the 3rd place trophy. And last but not least, the dealer trophy. Now can I invite Mr. Peter to join our winners for a group photo? Let's look in the front. All right, let's raise the trophy up high. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a big round of applause. Winners for the overall class. Thank you, Mr. Peter. And we are gonna get ready for champagne time.
Well, Chris van der Drift was the master here today at Chang International Circuit, and definitely the man with the biggest smile there on the top of the podium. Who could blame him? And Florian Latour and Lokai Low as well. You can tell they're going, oh no, they just can't. They're such competitors. They don't want to see their rivals get the better of them. Tomorrow, it's going to be an exciting race between those 3.
I have the mic the whole time, guys. The mic is
so there is, of course, here in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, we have 3 races in one. We've just seen our Pro class podium, but we have Pro-Am and Am as well. And for the Pro-Am, well, what a battle it was between Zhou Bihuang and Bao Junlong. Zhou Bihuang making the move on the very last lap. So the Michelin man prepared there to celebrate with our drivers as well. Of course, all Michelin tyres for our Porsche 992 GT3 Cup machines. Let's get down to the podium again.
2023 for the Pro-Am class. On the 3rd place, we have driver number 21, Francis Chia from Trans-China Automotive. And on 2nd place, we have driver number 718, Bao Jinlong from Zhengtong Moto. And the winner for the Pro-Am class, we have driver number 2, Zhou Bihuang from Porsche Beijing Central and Golden Port. And now I would like to invite the Managing Director of Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific, Mr. Alexandre Gibot, to present the winner trophy. And next is the 2nd place trophy. And lastly, the 3rd place trophy. And now I would like to invite Mr. Alex to join all of our winners of the Pro-Am class for a photo. All right, winners, let's lift the trophy up high and smile. Thank you, Alex. And it's time for champagne.
So a dramatic finish there with Zhou Bihuang taking the win at the last moment in Pro-Am, but Bao Junlong gets his revenge with a little bit of with a dunking of champagne, a small price to pay. And Francis Chia getting on the podium there as well. Good run from him in the highly competitive Pro-Am class. Well, in the Am class, it was Li Xuanyu who took the win at the very last moment, with Yang Ruoyu having an issue on the very last lap, retiring on the last lap, having led the whole way through. Heartbreaking for Yang Ruoyu, but Li Xuanyu takes that opportunity with both hands. Eric Kwong, that means from the back of the grid, Eric Kwong came home in 2nd position after that issue in qualifying, and then Wu Jiaxin getting into 3rd on the podium as well.
Of the M class. On 3rd place, we have driver number 5, Wu Jiaxin from RMB Racing. And on 2nd place, we have driver number 23, Eric Wong from Kenny Wong Racing. And the winner from M class, we have driver number 188, Li Xuanyu from Z-Speed Motorsport. And I would like to invite Mr. Ben Ma, the Director of Motorsports of Michelin Asia Pacific, to come up on stage to present the winner trophy.
So the Am class is exciting as ever, and Eric Kwong, big smiles, and poor old Michelin man's getting soaked with champagne, but I suppose an occupational hazard when you're on the podium. So a thrilling round 7 here at Chang International Circuit in Thailand, but we do it all again tomorrow morning for round 8 of the championship. It's going to be a cracker. Make sure to join us there. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Lights on. It's time again. "20 years. We create dream cars, generation after generation. We push ourselves beyond all limits. We take victories and write history.
What a great championship.
Together, we go even further.
Are you ready? Bring it home.
It's dreams that have fueled us across 2 decades.
Sliding through that mark. Brilliant racing.
It's dreams that have inspired us, empowered us, and driven us to the next level. This is Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, driven by dreams. 2023 starts now.